All right, guys, for those watching, we are going to be talking to Anarie. Anarie, kind of give everybody a brief idea where you're located at and what do you do for work?
I'm in New Haven, Connecticut, and I'm a firefighter for the city of New Haven. I've recently been transferred to the rescue, so it's not just the basics of like doing firefighting. So I needed to step up my game to be able to play with the big dogs because they expect a lot. When everyone else is in trouble, they're gonna call us. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do more for myself to be able to do more for everybody else. So
Awesome.
signing up for the program was my first step.
Awesome, dude. So, kind of give everybody a quick rundown. Did you try anything before you decided to step into this program?
I had tried my by myself working out because I had a good like exercise science background, but I didn't have the extra motivation sometimes just to do it on my own. I had another program that I tried that went through a true coach but didn't follow had any nutrition background. So it was workouts, but the nutrition was where I was faltering in my progress because I was like, yeah, I'm eating enough, but I was far from eating enough at all that I learned. I was pretty much just starving myself after I went through this program. Like, whoa, I learned a lot there. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just changing the program dynamic and learning about nutrition versus like, oh yeah, eat this, and I wasn't eating enough, so that was like it helped identify where I was lacking. So going
Mm,
from just workouts to finding where my main problem was, joining your program made the biggest difference.
awesome. And like, what was your goal when you started to work with us? I know you talked about like, stepping your game up, things like that. Like, what was, I guess, essentially your ultimate goal when you jumped in?
Ultimately, I did want to lose weight because I had gained weight from getting out of the academy, and I'm just going to different calls. I'm like, oh, going up the steps, this is rough, and I'm like, I need to do something about it. And after going between with the nutrition and the workouts, and just losing about 10 pounds since I started, and just leaning out and getting stronger, I'm like, wow, I can. My job's easier. I feel like I can keep going. So my main goal was to like lose some of the weight so I'm not holding myself back and just become healthier with by my nutrition. And I feel like a whole new person after like seeing starving yourself's not a great idea. That you don't
Yeah.
even know you're not doing it.
Exactly. So kind of roll through too, like how did you feel so far with the value inside of the program since jumping in? Like what do you think so far? I know you decided to invest in yourself, so how do you feel what you got out of it from day one till now?
I think it was like the greatest thing I did because I did, as I said multiple times, like I didn't know what I was lacking, especially nutrition wise, and this like pinpoint everything and going through the modules with the program online and be like, oh wow, that was really something that I needed. Or on my days where I was like slacking in my motivation, I'm like, all right, there's a whole click there for that. Go through that. I'm like, yeah, I'm back in the game. There was so many points where I was like, ah, all right, there's a little click to that. I can do that today, and it like
Mm,
kind of brought me back in because there's always times in like parts weeks and as you go on like I'm not feeling, you're like, all right, bring me back. And then having
yeah.
Denise and yourself that's like to guide along, like check in how you're doing, it made a big difference because there's you can follow a program and you're like, okay, I'm not feeling it this week, and then I'm not feeling it another week, and then you're kind of like off. Like having the little check-ins is like a little reminder, like get your butt going, even though you're not saying like move your ass. It was just like a polite move your ass. So it's
Completely do your
nice.
workouts. Yeah, like
Yes,
get in there, what
exactly.
you doing. Like, come on, let's go. That's what you joined
Mhm.
for. Yeah, that's what we're here for. I mean, I always say that to people, like, we're here to push you, we're here to motivate you guys.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, like you guys got to do the work, but we can
Yeah.
tell you exactly what to do and how to get there. So anywhere in the program that you feel like any other areas of your life you feel kind of improved that you didn't anticipate when you joined?
Just like my confidence overall again, like it just building up my strength. I'm like, holy crap, I'm moving stuff. You got the guys aren't even moving at work, or I'm doing things that they're like, do you need a hand? I'm like, no, no, I got this. I can do this myself. I felt like helped my confidence go. My independence went up a little more because I'm like, yeah, I don't need to phone a friend all the time because I can actually do it now versus being like, whoa, I'm struggling. And
Yeah.
just like feeling healthier, like nutrition wise, and like I'm like, wow, I feel good. I'm like, I'm looking good. This is awesome. So it was like an overall like boost in life, and like I've been sleeping better because
Yeah.
other times I'd be like wide awake all night. I'm like, nope, I'm exhausted. I just worked my butt off, so I'm ready to go to bed now. So it like helped like put me back in like a normal body rhythm, especially flipping back and forth with my schedule. I was able to do a lot at work so I could go home and still be human. And then I could curtail a lot of the workouts between my gym and at work. So I'm like, wow, this makes it so much easier versus being like, well, this is what I have. This is what I can only work with. It made it a lot easier to like switch things around too.
Yeah, which is a big part of the program. Like everyone's kind of nervous when they first step in. They're like, "How's this going to work for my schedule?" But we make it pretty easy. We're making the changes and
Hmm.
adjustments for you. Like you're able to move the days around if you have to. Like it's pretty straightforward. That's why I build it for, women first responders and frontline professionals because we understand your schedule. So, last but not least, any like if, best piece of advice you would kind of give somebody, maybe they're on the fence about joining this program, maybe they aren't sure if it's going to be a good fit for them. Maybe they're afraid because they got burned in the past from some past coaching programs, which, unfortunately, yeah. What would you kind of tell them if someone's like on the fence or anything like that?
I'll tell her to jump right in. It was worth it. It was like, even just going through the weeks, it says go heavier. I'm like, okay. And I'm
Mhm.
like, they must, she saw my weights last time. I'm like, all right, I'll go up heavier. And it was just like the little encouragements along the way. And it was so worth it. Like I feel so much stronger, like, especially as a firefighter and just having you guys know, like, all right, my schedule was crazy today, or we did a crazy training, or I had a fire today. And it's not like a regular trainer's going to be like, you had a fire. Okay, why didn't you work out? It's like you guys know, like, oh, you had a fire, you did this crazy training. I'm like, yeah, you worked your ass off. It wasn't just nothing. Where they
Yeah.
don't understand what the life is. So understanding the lifestyle behind it and having a workout and fitness and nutrition program that coincides with it was the biggest difference ever. So if they're questioning it and they need the help, it makes a big difference. And then even bringing it into the firehouse, the guys kind of started jumping on board, and I'm like, this is awesome. They made
Yeah.
fun of my scale to begin with, and
Of course. Yeah.
then they started asking about my scale. So I 100% say jump in. It's worth it.
Yeah. That's so funny. I did a post on that a while back. I was like, everyone will judge you in the beginning and then they'll start asking for help because they see how
Mhm.
quickly you change and they're like, oh, damn, like that's actually working. Like,
Mhm.
can you tell me what to do? And before you know it, which is good. You know what I mean? Like the whole station, in my opinion, it should be universal because the
Yep.
job is stressful to begin with. You guys are working really crazy hours. And if you don't do that, like it's encouraging for them too. Like they
Mhm.
start to feel better. Everyone starts to feel healthier. All of a sudden the station, no one's calling out sick. It's crazy.
Mhm. I even got him to do a whole circuit one day. Even the
Nice.
guys that never work out at all, that they're like, I don't remember the last time I did a squat other than
Yeah.
like lifting something up. So it brought everybody together too. It was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a good couple. I know you're getting done pretty soon, and we talked
Mhm.
about possible next steps and everything like that. So you have a good, plan of action moving forward. And like I say, like you guys get everything you kind of need to inside the program. So that's our job is to help you, not just while you're here, but when you're done as well. So thanks for trusting us in the
Of course.
process and joining, and thanks for, jumping on this interview with me as well. So anybody that's watching, if you have questions, you're unsure, like I always say, and I'll say it again, my DMs are always open. So feel free to jump in, ask questions. I have tons of case studies and client interviews just like this because our job for you guys is to get done and feel really good about the end goal of it. So again, thanks Anne Marie for
Of course.
coming through.